Go faster. Sure.
This is more a question for you, Krisha.
Yeah.
Rather than Frank, but,
Sure.
Are you a full-time student? Is that?
Yes, sir, I am. So I got homework to do right after this.
How do you plan on balancing the responsibilities of being a full-time student with all the responsibilities of being a town council?
Good question. Actually, this is my last semester of taking classes. As a PhD student, you don't, if you come in with a master's degree, as I did, you don't have to take a whole lot of classes to satisfy those requirements. Luckily for me, after this semester, I won't have to take classes as long as I pass them this semester. I'm planning on doing so. And and my dad, of course, you know, as all parents do, call you up and make sure that you're a straight A student, right? So yeah. I get that all my life. So I don't plan on slipping being a straight A student. Otherwise, I'll have someone to answer to about that. But that is a good question. I mean, I've been juggling a lot in my life. I worked full time for 8 years before I came back to school, and so I think all of us have other time commitments. But I think, as you guys know, if you really want something, you will make time for it. And throughout this campaign trail, I've been spending countless of hours doing my research, learning about town politics. I could probably already have a PhD in running for office, and I just plan on continuing that time commitment if elected. Yes.
Wait, you? Wait, you? Okay. This is a question for both of you guys.
Yep.
I'm just curious what, the old is Blacksburg, the old Blacksburg Middle School. What do you think would be a good use of that land? And what do you think would be a good idea to put something there? Like, what should we do with that?
Sure. Frank, do you want to answer, or since
since you got it all.
Okay. Well, that is a great question, because the old middle school is probably the last piece of really big land here in downtown Blacksburg. There are a lot of different ideas as to how to use that land. First of all, I'd like to say that it is not the town of Blacksburg's land to use right now. We have to make that very clear. As you know, it's the county's land. Well, actually, it will be the Board of Supervisors' land after the public school system surpluses it over to the Board of Supervisors. And then at that point in time, they can either sell it to a developer or sell it to us. We do have a trump card, however, the town of Blacksburg, and that is we control the zoning. Right now, the Blacksburg Middle School is zoned R4, which is 4 houses per acre. It's a residential zoning. It is not to our advantage to change that zoning before we have rights to the land. Otherwise, it can be sold off to a developer for a price that we could not afford as a town. Now, once it is ours, and we're speculating, I believe that we should acquire this land because, like I said, it's probably the most valuable piece of land downtown that remains. Plus, we paid for it. We pay county taxes. So the Blacksburg residents have paid for it. What I would like to see is a hybrid of green space and mixed-use development. This is a 20-acre parcel of land. It's too big for just developing completely, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. What I propose is keeping the back space green space. It's a proposition I think a lot of people can get on board with. The back space, green space, ball fields. We need places for our children to play. We need maybe an amphitheater, something to replace the Henderson Lawn area that has been diminished because of the new arts initiative that we really need downtown. So I think that we can keep that space a kind of a party area, a community area. The front space needs to be business, though, I think, and I envision mixed-use business. We don't have a place right now for expanding companies such as Rackspace. We just came back from there. Rackspace, Modea, all of these companies that employ over 100 people that need at least 40,000 square feet. I've been in touch with them, and I know their needs, and I think that we need a place for them to grow and expand. Otherwise, we lose them to other towns, and we can't afford that. We can't afford to lose our businesses to other towns because we don't have a place for them to expand. We need to be able to pay for that land, so we need some revenue-generating ideas in that front part. Like I said, it could be a place for business, retail, housing on top, mixed-use development, basically.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, relating to the old middle school, Krisha pretty well said it properly, that we don't own it. We have the zoning rights to it. And what happens is that a developer negotiates a price for it with the owner. And then they put together a concept plan, which then comes to Blacksburg for us to accept or reject in order to change the zoning. This is the kind of issue we went through down with First and Main. Now, that's not the end of it right there, the concept plan. All it does is it gives the governing body a place to start from as to what this land might look like. When the plan is put together by the developer, whatever he has in mind, or she has in mind, then it comes back to the town again for what's called the preliminary plat, which then describes what the whole thing is going to look like, down to really fine detail. And it's up to the town to accept or reject at that point. If they accept, it goes forward. And this is where we run into the trouble with the lawsuit down at First and Main. The town took it back, which is, I don't understand what they were fighting about in the Supreme Court. It wasn't the issue. But then on the other end, they can reject it, which then tells the developer he's going no place unless he makes significant changes. And then that's how it goes back and forth. I have heard from some developers that they would like to use the back portion of that land for either affordable housing, for residents, also for senior residents, to bring people into the downtown area. Now you say, well, this is our last opportunity for recreation. Well, we have over 6 acres of land that VDOT is willing to give us on the south end of town. It's the residual land left over from when the interchange was built. The only stipulation that VDOT has is that we include in that land a commercial operation, like a hotel or something else, along with the rest of it. Yes?
Is that land easily accessible to students and people who live around?
By car, it is. With a little bit of twisting, elbow twisting on Blacksburg Transit, it would be accessible that way as well, by bus. So you would have 2 opportunities to get down there, one either by car or by bus. It doesn't go down the BT doesn't go down that far now, but because of the buildup of traffic, well, I shouldn't say traffic, pedestrian traffic, entering onto the bus system, Main Street is going to have to be split. It will have to be. Because, believe me, I drive it tomorrow morning, the Main Street route. And when you leave Whipple Drive, which is not going to be the end of Main Street run in that direction either, you just can't make it in 10 minutes back to campus. You know, if you have passengers to pick up, you can do it if you have an empty bus, but you can't do it otherwise. So it's going to have to be split. No, it's going to expand that way. So developers have ideas for it. It's up to the Board of Supervisors to accept those ideas. And then the developer signs a contract for a contingency plan. You know, if this goes through, if we get this rezoning, we get approval, we'll buy it. That's pretty much how it works. What was the first issue again? I forgot. Krisha?
I
think that
think
was
you pretty
it.
much covered it, yeah, it was what to do
Yeah.
with Blacksburg Middle
All
School.
right, well, I wanted to go back to what you raised. I spent 41 years in the chemical industry before retiring. And many times, many years, I was involved with projects that I was working on it 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And during the year, we had Christmas and Easter off. The rest of the time was round the clock.